It did.
Oh.
This sounds like...
Does it light up as well?
It did light up. It was, I don't even remember who, I think this was a Christmas present. I think that ties in very nicely to where we are now. But yeah, it was a cookie jar that I did put, you know those, you buy those bags of chocolates, like the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and all that stuff?
Yeah.
I just filled it with all that stuff, and then I would open it and close it.
Oh, you went into the cookie jar too many times, I see.
But here's the thing, is I was actually trying to lose weight at the time, and whenever you closed it, the TARDIS dematerialization sound would happen. And one of the reasons that I stopped is because I knew that my roommates would know that I was eating chocolate. It worked out very well.
That's a good strategy. Good strategy.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to PCR. We are live from Gallifrey. My name's Kevin Kittredge. I'm here with LT.
Hello.
She just saw the Christmas special minutes ago. You haven't even had time to process this enormous event in Time Lord history.
No, but I will do my best.
You took notes.
I did.
You want to grab your notebook?
Okay, it's bright green.
It's bright green. It says Kevin on it because she borrowed my notebook, which I brought to me when I was doing audience work on Let's Make a Deal. And that's the thing they give you when you go to Let's Make a Deal. She's not you. You're not Kevin.
I'm not Kevin.
Okay. So who are we? Who exactly are we?
Who are you?
I'm Kevin Kittredge. I'm 43 years old. I started watching Doctor Who in about 85 or 86. My favorite Doctor for a very long time was the fifth Doctor, Peter Davison, because he was so nice. And because I was a nice kid. And then I turned 40 in 2014. And the moment Peter Capaldi was cast, I was like, this is my guy. He's just significantly less nice than Mr. Davison. How about yourself?
Wait, but do you have a favorite companion?
That's an interesting question. And I don't know the answer. I'm sorry, I'm bailing on this one. I don't know if I have a favorite companion, because I think of the whole TARDIS crew with the Fifth Doctor, and you got Tegan, Nyssa, and Adric. Perry has her moments. I don't know. I liked Tegan. I liked Susan. We're going to talk about Susan shortly in this show. I'm passing off to you now because I'm bailing because I don't have a specific answer.
That's fine. You have time to think about it.
When did you start watching Doctor Who?
I started with the 9th Doctor.
Okay.
And I got through the 10th Doctor. And I actually did not like Rose, so I stopped watching. And I came back with Matt Smith, so he is my favorite Doctor.
Matt Smith is your Doctor?
Yes, he is my Doctor, which was really hard to transition into Capaldi, so I actually have not watched the entire Capaldi arc.
And that's a real shame because
it is.
He's so
I will
cool.
Get to it.
He's so cool.
He is so nice in real life. I've actually met him. I met him at Comic-Con, and it was like this surreal thing where I was like, oh my god, it's the Doctor.
I have never met him, and I actually tried stalking him at Comic-Con once.
He's so kind and so nice and so, I don't know, just...
Yeah, totally.
It's weird.
And you got these people who are saying, you know what, I didn't like Capaldi at first in the first season because he was like not so nice and doctory, but I liked him better. And I was like, no, man, I liked him right away. Yeah, she's my carer. She cares so I don't have to. It's like instantly, it's like, this is an amazing line. I love it. So talking about Christmas special, the hashtag show did a poll. And 29% of the people who responded loved the Christmas special. 29% liked it. 14% didn't like it. And 28% didn't see it yet. I'm sure we're living in an age where you don't have to watch things right away.
Especially since we don't know when the series is going to start up again. So there's no real rush.
There's no rush. And for me, I was working yesterday, Christmas Day. And, 12's my guy. So during the day after it aired, I hadn't seen it yet. So for me, I was like, I haven't seen it yet. Peter Capaldi is still the Doctor, as far as I'm concerned.
It's true.
That's true. So let's start off with this, with the special. We start off previously on Doctor Who, and everybody's going to be like, okay, we go back to the last season where the Doctor wants to fight this regeneration. But no, we're previously 709 episodes ago in Doctor Who. And it's the recreation of the 10th planet, which I think was... Had you known anything about the 10th planet before?
I have not. I have not watched...
You haven't watched second one of the original series? Okay, well, all right. That's fine. There's a lot there, and it's pretty intimidating for a lot of people to start with. But so the 10th Doctor had had been in this big fight with the Cybermen. He won, obviously. And his body was he was just so old. He was tired, and it was time to regenerate. But here we see him fighting it off, which didn't happen as far as I remember it. And he comes out in the snow, and he sees our doctor, our current doctor, who's also fighting this off. And what? Do, for the most part.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, I get that.
All right. So David Bradley, playing the first Doctor, I think he was great. I think he's a really good job as the first Doctor. The only problem I have with this is that Stephen Moffat has been telling us for months, oh, he's perfect. It's like, look, it's eerie. It's eerie looking at William Hartnell again. It's like, man, he wasn't exactly William Hartnell, and it's fine. He didn't have to be. And there was no point where I was watching this going, is that William Hartnell? Did I miss something? Is he still alive? No, he was fine. He was his own interpretation of the Doctor. How much have you seen clips or anything? What do you know about the first Doctor, apart from he's a tetchy old man?
I don't really actually know that much at all.
Okay.
Just 9th, 10th, 11th, War Doctor.
Well, a lot of what he was doing on there were things taken. You could tell he was doing an homage to William Hartnell. It was very nice. It was very sweet. But David Bradley, he wasn't William Hartnell, and he didn't have to be. What I don't like about the opening, by the way, I'm a grump. For anybody who hasn't watched that hashtag show's Calling It in the Ring, I can be grumpy sometimes, and I don't like a lot of things because I'm old and I like things as I remember them. I don't like the Doctor whining about having to regenerate.
Yeah.
How about when 10 did it? 10 did it.
10 had a long goodbye. That kind of dragged a little bit.
It was longer than we
need all of that.
It was longer
but I still love him. So we gave it to Tennant.
Sure, because he's cute. Oh,
yeah.
He's so cute.
He is.
It was even long. It was even longer than we were led to believe, because I guess in the Sarah Jane Adventures, because we see him in his last episode go to visit all of his companions. Okay. But in the Sarah Jane Adventures, he tells them, I didn't just look at my 10th Doctor companions. I went throughout the history of Doctor Who and looked at... Shut up! No, you didn't. Why does everything have to be so
grandiose?
Ridiculous? Yes.
And
yes. And he's done it enough. The Doctor has regenerated enough. He's used to this. It's like, here we go. Let's go. Cat. Peter Capaldi is Cat's favorite Doctor. Good for you. Good for you. Season 3 is Ryan Earl Wizard Magic Dragon Thomas' favorite. Season 3, I guess that would be, I'm assuming that you're talking about David Tennant. I'm going to assume that. Dragon, if you can confirm that with me for a minute. So let's go on. Mark Gatiss. So Mark Gatiss plays a captain in World War I, a British captain. And here's something about Mark Gatiss. I like him. I think he's a really good actor. He's a great actor.
Yeah, he's amazing. I love seeing him come up. He's so fun.
Now, here's the thing. How many times does he have to show up in Doctor Who? He's already been Dr. Lazarus. And do you remember that? Do you remember the Lazarus experiment?
He can show up as much as he wants. Like, that's kind of his thing. He's just like, I am a new character.
All right. All right, fine. I mean, not only Lazarus, he was a couple of voices in a couple other ones. In A Big Finish Unbound, he was the master in A Big Finish story. I mean, now that his good buddy Stephen Moffat has taken off, he probably won't be around as much.
Yeah.
And again, he did a really great job. I just think that I've been tired of going, oh, look, it's Mark Gatiss again. But that's fine. But Mark Gatiss, the thing about Mark Gatiss is he is a fanboy like me. He loves Doctor Who. And I encourage you and I encourage everybody. There's a sketch called The Kidnappers with him and David Walliams. And in it, David Walliams comes and he wakes up Mark Gatiss in his apartment, and Mark Gatiss is a total nerd. He wakes up and his hair's all messed up, and he's got glasses on. He's like, "What's going on, Cyberman?" He's like, and David Walliams brings somebody in, and he's got a mask on him. He's like, "I have a present for you." He's like, "What is it? What is it?" And he takes it, and it's Peter Davison, and he kidnapped Peter Davison, and it's very, very funny. It's one of the best things I think he's ever done. Kat likes David Tennant as well. You and Kat are like buds. You're like this. Except you don't like Peter Capaldi.
No, I don't not like him. I just haven't. He's all right.
No, that's fine. All right. So we get the first Doctor, and we got the 12th Doctor, and they got some good banter going. You're me, nah, you're not me. I'm totally you. Blah 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 blah. It's fun, but some fun lines. Always remember where you parked. It's going to come up a lot. When they're talking about World War One with Mark Gatiss' character, there's a neat little moment where he's like, "Wait, World War One? There's going to be more world wars." It's a really neat moment.
But it's also really heavy, which makes
Yes.
the ending so much. Oh, got feels. I know you didn't cry, but I got a little teary-eyed, which is what I want from a Christmas episode.
I
Doctor Who.
was telling the last time I cried in Doctor Who was the Girl in the Fireplace. And before this, what was the last time you did?
Oh, I'm trying to think. I'm like,
What's the last time you cried? I want to hear the last time you cried, if you did. Please continue.
I don't know. I cried a lot, especially with the Pawns. The Pawns always got me, like every episode.
Even when they died, oh man, all of it. Oh, there's so much terrible. Stephen Moffat.
I don't know. I like it. Like, I love sappy Doctor Who moments, and I'm allowed, like, I don't know. I give him some leeway with the whole continuity problems in order to, like, evoke feels. Like, I was already crying when Amelia Pond was praying to Santa.
It was a very cute moment.
And I was like, that's just so cute.
It was a very cute moment. Speaking of continuity, I had always thought, she's still alive. We should get Susan to come back for one episode of Doctor Who. And this is the perfect time. We got the first Doctor, we got the 12th Doctor. And there's a moment in this episode where they say, do whatever we want, and we'll let you speak to her again. And I was like, yeah, but no, it's Bill. We'll get to that very soon. So we're talking, Joe's favorite is Paul McGann. Paul McGann's great.
Oh my God.
Let me type to Joe. Hey, Joe, did you like him in the 96 movie better or in the short video that he regenerated in?
96 movie.
You like the movie? Yeah, it's good.
I like the video too, though.
Have you ever met the writer, Matthew Jacobs, the guy, the writer of that? He's at Gallifrey a lot.
He was also our first Doctor Who interview.
Was he?
Oh.
He was the first Doctor Who interview. That's great. Okay. So we don't get to see Susan, which is very frustrating to me. It was now or never.
Yeah.
And it seems like never again. They go with that. We see these glass. Oh, there's the testimony. That's what they're called. Time has been frozen. The captain is about to get killed. When they're taking him away, something happens. There's a mess up in transport. And time is frozen because of this. And so we get to see, we meet the testimony who picked these guys up. And Bradley, the first Doctor's having trouble accepting the fact that Peter Capaldi is him in the future. And they're like, well, check it out. Here's a whole bunch of you doing a whole bunch of war stuff. And we see the fifth Doctor. We see all these wonderful, it's always great to see the old Doctors for me. I'm, give me an hour and a half of them on a treadmill going around. I'll be fine with it. But, and one thing they point out is the shadow of the Valeyard. And the Valeyard in the sixth Doctor was on trial. And he was on trial, and the lead prosecutor is this guy called the Valeyard. And he was kind of a jerk. And we find out that the Valeyard is actually a future incarnation of the Doctor that had gone evil, which is crazy. They don't specify where exactly. They say like sometime between your 12th and final incarnations, which is a little thrown off after the time of the Doctor. But to hear it mentioned, the shadow of the Valeyard, they're talking about it. Look at that. Did you have that ready, Josh?
Just fast.
You just looked it up now? That's amazing. There's the Valeyard. He's one bad dude. So they show all these terrible clips, and the first Doctor is like, huh? And Capaldi says, well, to be fair, they cut out all the jokes, which is great. Man, oh man, I loves me some Capaldi. He's great. They escape and they go off to the first Doctor's TARDIS, which is just beautiful. The first Doctor's TARDIS is beautiful. I wish they still had the Doctor Who Experience. I've never been to the Doctor Who Experience, and they closed it up. But I mean, they got a whole bunch of TARDIS consoles there.
Wait, what's Doctor Who Experience?
Doctor Who Experience was a big museum, and they had the 10th Doctor's TARDIS console set there. They had, you could go in certain times during the current up until just now current. TARDIS console. They had the Fifth Doctor's TARDIS console there.
Where was this?
It was over in
Cardiff.
Cardiff. Yeah, it was right
Makes
where they
sense.
used to
Okay.
film. Oh, it was amazing. So, in the beginning, we see Ben and Polly, the First Doctor's companions, and now everybody runs into the TARDIS, and they're nowhere to be found. I'm assuming that they said, "Okay, Doctor, we know you're sick and tired and feeble. Go out into the snow. We're gonna go take a nap." Where do they go?
I don't even know.
Help me out. You're the voice of reason. I'm the loudmouth. So, all right, they're not there, and I think this isn't the first time, but we get a little bit more. The First Doctor is very traditional when it comes to gender roles. It's
And
like
traditional in his views as well.
yes,
Which is the running jokes, kind
please,
of.
please stop talking. First
Yeah.
Doctor, stop saying that. What's he say? He says, "You're not gonna be able to say that again." When?
Ever.
To anyone you ever see ever again.
Yeah.
Which is very funny. When they do the, I think all women are made of glass, and Gatiss is like, they're both doing this manly. It's so bad. First of all, it's so bad.
But that's what it is. It's like to poke fun. And
It is.
We're getting a new Doctor, and like this whole thing of bookends with the men,
Yeah, I
First
wish-
and the last Doctor, and it's like, okay, we're
I-
going into a new era now.
I kind of wish the First Doctor could have seen that, just to know. Maybe
Yeah,
that was
right?
straight set about straight. Yeah, but Gaddis very much sounded like Stephen Fry from Blackadder. I don't know how many people have seen that, but it's very. That's great. So the Doctor says, no. Yeah, we need to get some information. Where are we going to get it from? Probably the greatest source of knowledge in all time. The Matrix from Gallifrey. That's got literally everything. And the Doctor's like, wait, I know somewhere even better. This Dalek database, I don't understand how this is better than the Matrix.
Right? I was a little confused of like.
What did they say? They said the Daleks take stuff over and then learn the info, but it's still nowhere. All right, sure, whatever.
We'll just accept it.
And so they get there, and they're like, hey, what are these little creatures running around? And the 12th Doctor's like, there's no reason for me not to tell you, except I want it to be a surprise for the audience. So we'll talk about this later. And you tell the First Doctor when you're going to go to a Dalek farm. That's what it was, right? Like a Dalek farm?
Yeah, with all the broken bit. I don't know. I don't even really know.
Because he said it was them without their casing or what have you. So it was
Yeah.
the Daleks running around.
Yeah, because he had like the pieces and he was kind of fondling them oddly while talking to Bill. And it's just like, all right, that's cool.
But it's then that we find out this isn't an evil plan by
No.
these by the testimony. They're trying to, speaking of knowledge, they're trying to acquire as much knowledge possible and just to have it on record, just to become an even bigger database than the Matrix, it seems to me.
Yeah, like ultimate Wikipedia, I guess.
Yes. Probably maybe a little more reliable than Wikipedia. We find out that Bill is, as much as they say it, Bill is not real. Bill is not back. They keep saying, well, it's the memories of Bill, so it's Bill. And that's not true, right?
Well, that's the argument that he's saying. It's like they're only memories. That's not the same. It's not the same. But it's kind of like, have you ever heard the grandfather's axe thing of like, this is my grandfather's axe?
No.
And then you like chip the part of the metal and you replace it. And then years later, you replace the handle. And it's like, when does it stop becoming your grandfather's axe and a completely new one?
I first of all, I've always liked that argument. I think it sounds good. I think I heard maybe it was a broomstick or something.
Oh, okay.
But no. But yours,
Yeah.
I think yours is probably
Like, is it the memories that make a person, or is it the body? Is it the form? When does she stop being acceptable, I guess, to you as her?
But okay, and you're right. But I think that it's not her because it's not her. Because it's like Rimmer from Red Dwarf. It's like what was it? It's like this. Doctor Who's done this before, where it's like, hey, this crazy thing's gonna happen. So the beginning of Doomsday, where Rose Tyler says, "This is the day that I died." No, you didn't
No.
fucking die.
No, she did
probably
not.
I'm gonna try to swear less because there's probably a broader audience than our wrestling show later. You did not die. You were put on a list as somebody who died, and you went to an alternate dimension.
She did not die.
She did not die.
Did not die.
Donna, speaking of Daleks, one will die. And Donna has her memories erased from her time with
Oh,
the Doctor.
that was so sad.
It was so sad.
Because
Did she
that's
die?
what- She did not die, but that part of her did. Like, I don't know. That
Sure.
was like the saddest ending to a companion that I think I've seen. What about River Song?
What about Adric, who got blowed up? You don't know that. You haven't
I don't
seen
know
it. Adric got blowed up. It's a
He's
little more
probably
sad.
dead. He's
Yeah,
he's probably
he's-
dead.
yeah, I think
I
he's
think we
dead.
can agree. I haven't seen it, but
You were saying about River Song?
she's preserved. Is she dead? Is she alive? How would you put her?
That's a very good question because I think I lost track of where she is.
That is, she was like put in a book and kind of lives there in limbo indefinitely.
Yeah. It's, which, I don't know what I would prefer. Live forever in something that I know is fake, or, just die like a person. She got fried. Sorry, River, you got fried. Let's see here. We see the Christmas truce,
Yes.
which has always been a really interesting idea to me. I looked it up. They say it was just one time, but it wasn't really just one time. They'd done it before and after. But, they like... so the Christmas truce, you tell it. I know history. Oh, I know my history. But you do it.
I don't know. It was just like they're gonna start singing, and
It's World War I, and we
Yes.
got our...
the Germans and
the Germans are the bad guys, right?
Yes. Well, is there good and bad? I think that's the whole point of this as well.
But
No,
we got the British and the French, and we got some, and they like, especially during Christmas time, there were times where they would sing to each other, and then eventually they played like soccer games or football, if you like, Brits, and they would it'd be like, all right, we're kind of like people, and we're kind of stuck in this situation, and to see that happen is really neat.
it was. I feel like that got me in the feels. I teared up. I was like, Christmas miracle, and we're a day after Christmas, but still, you still have those feels.
It was really neat. So we see Bill, who isn't Bill, saying
Kinda
goodbye to
is
the doctor.
Bill.
Please. But she does, not to say, even though she wasn't Bill, and even though I generally have a frustration with Stephen Moffat, I think there are some really nice lines that he says occasionally. And I think when she says, the hardest part of knowing you was letting you go.
Oh, that was so sweet too. And
It's
her
very
little
sweet.
arm letting go.
Yeah.
Also more feels.
And then it's just squeezing everybody in. We're squeezing in Nardole. We're squeezing in Clara.
But I think Clara was pretty good because that's the end of, the beginning companion. Same thing with like the doctors. We had the first doctor and our last male doctor before we, transitioned. I don't know. Moffat
I
likes
get
begin.
it.
I kind of was surprised that Moffat didn't try to squeeze in the pawn since that was like his beginning
Right.
thing, because he would be like that. I feel like where he's like nostalgia. Let's bring this back, and Matt Smith just because we have
It's
that
kind of
connection.
like Murray Gold, who did the soundtrack. Like, he was throwing in some old stuff from like Doomsday and some other stuff as well. And I think it's just more of, by the way, I'm leaving too, and here's some stuff you like from me, as opposed to serving the story. There becomes a point for me where it becomes...
just gratuitous and like, hey,
Yes.
this was my time. Let me make a little collage for myself in
Yes.
this episode.
I'm going to get slightly personal here. Something that really got me is when the doctor's, considering he's talking to not Bill and not Nardole about maybe not regenerating, and he says, "Can I rest?" And this is for me, and I'm sorry this is a little off track, but my grandma a few years ago, she was in her 80s, and she got diagnosed with cancer, and she was like, I could do all this chemo and all this stuff to really make everything. I think I've earned the right to die, and she did. She didn't do all that stuff, and I think that's very noble. And I think it's a little noble, maybe a little selfish of the doctor to take himself out of the equation, because he's important. The doctor's important to the universe.
Yeah, he's there to protect everyone. So
I like the idea of giving advice to the next doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I like the whole never be cruel, always be kind, yada yada yada. Maybe I'll die, but he's not. I like in his big speech, in his goodbye speech, he's giving us a tour of the TARDIS set, He's like, we're going all around the place because this is the end for that TARDIS too.
Yeah.
I love this TARDIS. I really do.
It felt a little cold to me, but
What do you mean?
just like the LED lights and the contrast, like, I don't know, it felt a little less fun and inviting than the previous.
What do you think of the orange one?
I don't know, orange is like a lot of warmth, which I'll probably get into later with the lighting. Like the lighting in this episode really struck me. So I think that's why I'm like, oh.
Man, I hated that orange 11th console. I just hated it.
It's a little garish, but.
That's another one too. We're gonna go back to your comments because we've been talking a lot. We're gonna go through these in a minute. What's your favorite TARDIS console and why? I want to hear that because I'm a big 5th, 6th, 7th Doctor console. It's just that's what I grew up with. I've always been. Whenever I win the lottery, my house is gonna have that TARDIS. That's gonna be my office. You're gonna walk through the TARDIS. You're gonna have that whole area. I think you're gonna have a BBC camera here. And then off over there will be my desk and all that whatnot. But you like the orange one.
I don't know. Now I kind of want to like compare all of them. I can't think of them off the top of my head.
And then we saw the first Doctors. Did you see An Adventure in Space and Time?
Wait, which one's that?
That was the docudrama about the first Doctor, written by Mark Gatiss, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I actually did. I did.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And then that's what they made that console for, I believe, and that's why they held on to it. So maybe I'll have to get 2 offices because that's a pretty sweet console room as well. And then he regenerates. And his last words, the closest I came to crying, Doctor, I let you go. It's just like, wow, that's good. That's good.
Echoing what Bill was saying about letting go, and he's kind of learning in this episode.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, it's about letting go because he has to accept that he has to regenerate, like he doesn't want to do it, and that's the whole thing, acceptance, which I think kind of leads into like death as well. So
yeah, good call. He regenerates. The ring drops. Very cool slow motion.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't. Yeah, it was slow motion. Very dramatic.
It was very like Lord of the Rings style.
Okay.
It's like, oh.
Yeah, that makes sense. And when she finally gets to look at herself, oh, brilliant. She loves it.
It's about time. A lot of fans have been saying it's time for a woman doctor.
I get that. Here's my thing, and it's all very personal to me. It's just because I'm selfish, and because I like to dress as the current Doctor. And I'm not going to be doing that as 13. I know that I could.
You could do a male version of it with the colors and everything else.
People do that. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing that.
Like a little gender bend in like the costuming.
That's fine. I get it. I just always want to be the Doctor.
I get that. And they had that little joke in there where the first Doctor was like, I'm the doctor and this is a nurse. And I know you're expecting a woman for the nurse. So it's like the whole episode, they're trying to prepare you for this massive change.
Again, I wish he could have seen it. I wish he could have seen himself turn
that
into
would have
a
been
woman.
really good. So good.
And then she hits one little button and it sends the TARDIS into a tailspin to be continued. Yes. You've seen Jodie's costume as the
I have.
13th Doctor. So have I. So have most of our people who are watching. I'm sure we'll probably bring it up shortly. You like it?
I do. It's very modern and I don't know. It's less magician-y, but I'm also... This looks good though.
I got a buddy, my buddy Brad, who was like, now that there's a woman Doctor, I think the best thing to do is just bring her out as a badass. And I was thinking about it. I was like, no, man, you got to have some quirky. She's got to be quirky. And he was like, no, I want a badass woman Doctor, like the 3rd Doctor. And I was thinking about it more and more, and I was like, yeah, man, that's how you do it. You bring her out, you make her a badass.
You want like combat boots and like utility belt and like...
I don't know.
Like
I'm not saying
eyeliner.
I have all the answers. I'm saying probably not Mork from Mork. That's what I'm saying. Do you know who Mork from Mork is?
I know.
Robin Williams played Mork from Mork. He was an alien, and he was nadu, and it was all very, 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 very silly. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing a lot of people are saying Punky Brewster.
Oh my gosh.
People are saying, what's the other stuff? There were 2 more. And Wesley from Star Trek: The Next Generation wore a shirt like that once. Maybe that was reaching a little bit. I don't know, man. I want her to look like a badass, and she don't look like a badass.
She's unassuming, and I think that's where they're trying to go, maybe, where I don't know if it's necessarily like trying to lower expectations, but set expectations of like she looks like she could be walking around anywhere.
Kind of
doesn't
like
stand out necessarily.
maybe like when the seventh Doctor would act like a clown, or the second or seventh, they would both be clowns, but you didn't know that they were thinking about how to beat you in the background. Maybe some misdirection there.
Yeah, just unassuming clothes, nothing super fancy. Weird culottes or skirt. I'm not even 100% sure with the suspenders, so I don't know. Just
You said you want to talk. You want to talk about the lighting a bit.
I don't know, because I think that's what was leading to this whole introduction of the female Doctor, where this Doctor, like the lighting in the episode, it was always shining down on him, where the light was coming in from like an outside source, which I thought was, I don't know, super interesting, where he's trying to find the light, or like, as in death, like go to the light to, kind of.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. This is very.
Yeah, like in the
good of you.
beginning, and then like the spotlight before like the claw machine comes down and takes TARDIS.
The claw machine.
Or whatever it is.
No, you're
it's
right.
like shining on him, and then the whole like Dalek laser beams, I don't even know what they are, but kind of lighting him up. And then the whole build of the room with like the windows and stuff, all the light coming in, and he's going in between shadow and light. And at the end, you finally get this, and it's all kind of like that LED cold glow to it. And at the end, it's like dawn, soft, beautiful, glowing light. So dawn of a new day, new Doctor, and like acceptance into.
You're not working towards cinematography, are you? Are you a cinematographer?
No.
Because that's
I
very
import
technically
car
thinking.
parts.
Very smart. You were what?
I import car parts.
Okay, all right. How's the lighting on those? Okay, all right. Never mind. Do you have any other thoughts before we go to the notes from our people who are watching?
No, let's go to notes.
Let's go to notes. Okay. I'm going back quite a bit. Okay, Kat said the favorite was the regeneration scene, which is kind of cheating because and she also liked the beginning, the interaction between the two doctors. And it is very fun, absolutely. Let's see here. Renegades Assemble, says Jezzer. That's us. Where do we go? That's off topic. I'm not going to spend time reading it. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, Jalen. People are saying hi to you.
Hello.
Capaldi. Yeah. Capaldi is Kat's, and so is David Tennant's. Joe's is Mr. McGann. The only thing that the Doctor retains are his or her memories. Missy Gomez is Ryan's favorite. She's not really the Doctor, but we'll take it. We're talking Time Lords, Time Ladies in general. Bill is Kat's favorite companion. Who's your favorite companion? Did you answer that?
I don't know.
You asked me.
Oh, but it's Donna. Definitely Donna.
You know what? I really like Donna.
Donna's
I think
my
I
favorite.
think she took a lot of heat from people for some reason. I don't know why. Joe loves Clara. Oh, but his favorite is Donna as well. Is there anything from the peanut gallery here? Is there anything that we should go over before we maybe?
The last time I cried in a Doctor Who episode was when they had to, when the War Doctor, David Tennant, and Matt Smith were about to push the button. It's pretty emotional.
Okay, so Joe had a big thing for the
And
moment.
the Vincent Van Gogh episode.
Oh
Yeah,
my God,
Vincent
that
Van
one.
Gogh.
Oh.
Yeah, they cheated a little bit. They used a Coldplay song. Anytime you use a Coldplay song, it's kind of cheating.
That
To
is
get the
true.
tears.
That is true.
How about you, Josh? Josh doesn't cry.
No.
Josh is a cyborg.
If you were going to cry, which episode would you cry?
And the Doctor's wife, when he says, I just wanted to say hello.
Okay.
And the last episode with David Tennant. Like that would have been it.
Oh, Wilfred's should be better.
Oh, Wilfred. Everybody's talking about Wilfred. Oh, he's an old man. Oh, look, he's so adorable. Oh,
Wilfred
jeez.
is so sweet. I
So sweet. Well, I think that might wrap it up for us. Where can we find you, LT?
don't know.
Online.
Instagram.
Oh, on Instagram at L.T. ELLE.TEA.
I should probably point out, this is my buddy Bob Mitch's setup here. I'm not wearing the whole thing. It was too much of a thing. But Bob has a Costume Station Zero. He's got a podcast where he talks about costumes. And I like to wear that. Anytime you see me in a Doctor Who costume, it's Bob Mitch's. Because why try for anything else when you got a buddy who has a closet full of every Doctor? Why not?
What's the next Doctor Who convention?
The next Doctor Who convention is Gallifrey 1. It's in mid-February. I am a part of the Idiot's Lantern. We'll be doing a sketch show with Bob Mitch and a good bunch of his costumes. We're writing some sketches. We're on the main stage. We have a lot of fun with it.
I bet you do. It's a fun convention. I love
fun.
it.
Stephen Moffat's going to be there. David Bradley is going to be there. The Seventh Doctor and Ace are going to be there. It should be a lot of fun.
Oh, man.
Okay, well, from Gallifrey, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. And when the season starts, perhaps we'll be back. Cheers.
Cheers.